Welcome to the deep dive. You're here because, like us, you want to really get under the hood of what makes content work, especially on places like TikTok.
Right.
Today, we're zooming right in on those first 3 seconds, that tiny window that can make or break your video.
It's incredibly critical.
Yeah, so if you're trying to figure out how to cut through all that noise, how to make your stuff instantly sticky, well, you're definitely in the right place. And speaking of getting noticed, if you're looking to give your profiles a bit of a boost, there are resources out there like rapidboost.net that focus on helping with that.
Useful tools for sure.
Okay, so let's dive in. 3 seconds. Why is that seemingly tiny amount of time just so important on TikTok?
It's almost startling how fast we judge things online, isn't it? Just think about how you scroll.
Oh, yeah. It's brutal.
You're just hit with this constant stream, and your brain gets super efficient at, well, filtering if it doesn't grab you instantly.
You're gone. My thumb just keeps moving. I probably don't even consciously register half of it.
Exactly. And the stats really back this up. You know, the average human attention span is already short, maybe around 8 seconds now.
Which feels generous sometimes.
Right. And for TikTok's main crowd, Gen Z, it's probably even shorter. But the killer stat is this. Something like 67% of the really popular videos, the ones that take off, they hook you within those first 3 seconds.
Wow, 67%. That's a lot riding on the very beginning. So what happens if you miss that window, if you don't hook them?
Well, in that kind of environment, it's simple.
Mm-hmm.
They just swipe away. Gone.
Yeah,
There's always something else waiting.
right.
Another video immediately available. And look, this isn't just about losing one view. It actually tells the TikTok algorithm something important.
Okay, here we go. The algorithm. How does it read those first few seconds?
It weighs them really heavily. Metrics like watch time, just how long people stick around, and completion rate, did they watch the whole thing? Those are key. So if a big chunk of people bail in the first, say, 3 to 5 seconds, the algorithm basically sees that as, maybe this isn't very interesting.
And then it just stops showing it to people.
Pretty much. Low early engagement signals don't promote. Your video gets kind of suppressed on the For You page, which is, the main discovery engine. Makes it super hard to get seen.
So it's not just vanity metrics. It directly hits your reach, your potential to grow.
Absolutely. And TikTok's own creator resources kind of confirm this. They've shared data suggesting videos with a really strong hook right at the start can get up to an 80% higher average view duration.
80%. That's huge. That's the difference between fizzling out and potentially going viral.
Exactly. That's why nailing the start is so crucial.
Okay, the why is definitely clear. So let's get into the how. TikTok is so visual. What are the key things visually you can do right away?
Yeah, given it's so visual first, you need like an immediate visual disruption, something that breaks the pattern of scrolling.
Percent.
Think about what catches your eye in the real world, something unexpected. On TikTok, that means maybe an intriguing visual, something unusual right off the bat.
Or like what?
Could be an abrupt camera angle change, a sudden zoom, maybe a really unique setting people haven't seen before, or even just eye-popping colors, high contrast, something that just visually jumps out.
Yeah, you need to interrupt that endless visual flow. You mentioned Emily Zuge earlier. Her logo redesign seemed like a great example.
Perfect example. She often starts with that deadpan face, which is already a bit unusual on TikTok, right?
Right.
And then, bam, this totally absurd kind of terrible logo design. That contrast, the unexpectedness, it just makes you stop and think, what is that?
And what about text? Everyone uses text overlays.
Oh, hugely important. Text can give instant context,
Yeah.
but it has to be fast. Use big readable fonts, high contrast colors so you can grasp it in like half a second. If you're telling a story or teasing something or giving a quick tip, put the core question or the main point right there on screen. Wait for it. You won't believe this, how to, whatever. Don't bury the lead.
So no slow reveals in those first few seconds. Get straight to it.
Generally, yeah, immediate impact. And think about movement too. A static shot can just blend in.
Right.
But someone, gesturing wildly or dropping something, or even just popping into frame unexpectedly, like someone falling in or confetti bursting, that signals activity, energy, makes people pause.
Okay, visuals are key. But TikTok's not silent cinema. What about sound? How does audio play into that hook?
Yeah, you can't ignore the audio. It's visual and audio. Opening with a trending sound, something people recognize instantly, that could really boost watch time.
Like those earworms you can't escape?
Exactly. Think about The Korn song or those sped up pop remixes. You hear that beat, that sound, and it instantly connects, creates energy, maybe makes you curious about the video attached to it.
Definitely works. I hear certain sounds and I immediately know what kind of video it's likely to be. What about using your own voice?
Oh yeah, voiceovers or just snappy dialogue right at the start can be super effective. Maybe open with a direct question to the viewer. POV. What would you do if...
Engages them immediately.
Right, or even just an emphatic statement, something authentic, maybe funny, a simple, unbelievable, or... Wait, what? Delivered with real feeling can be enough to stop the scroll.
So it doesn't have to be super polished audio necessarily.
Not in those first 3 seconds, no. But what is critical is the volume and clarity.
Ah, good point.
TikTok's compression can sometimes mess with audio. If it's muffled or too quiet or just unclear, people won't strain to understand. They'll just swipe.
Yeah, frustrating.
So definitely test your video on different devices.
Yep.
Check the sound levels. Make sure that audio hook lands clearly instantly.
Okay, this is great stuff. Let's talk storytelling within that tiny window. How do you build instant curiosity?
This is where the curiosity gap really comes into play. It's a classic technique.
Explain that.
You basically create a gap between what the viewer knows and what they want to know. So you might pose a question they need answered, or hint at a big reveal coming later, or even flash a tiny clip from the very end.
Tease the payoff.
Exactly. Something like, I never thought this DIY project would work, but then this happened.
Yeah.
You immediately create that little itch. What happened?
Plants that seed, makes you want to stick around for the answer.
Right. Another really effective way is to just drop the viewer right into the middle of the action.
Skip the intro.
Totally skip the, hi guys, welcome back. Just start mid-chaos or at the climax or with the most interesting part. Think about someone like at the Pasta Queen. She often starts with this gorgeous shot of the finished pasta dish.
Mouth-watering.
Yeah, or sometimes even a funny fail, like dropping the spaghetti. You see that end result or the problem and you're instantly hooked. You want to see the journey.
Makes total sense. You're invested immediately in how they got there.
And one more thing here.
Yeah.
Relatable scenarios, or maybe surprisingly unexpected ones.
Ah.
Starting with something like, every college student right before finals week looks like this, or that feeling when you finally clean your room. Those shared moments create an instant connection.
That's me. Or I know that feeling.
Exactly. Or showing something really weird happening in a totally normal setting. That element of surprise or relatability grabs people. It overrides that swipe instinct.
It's all about finding that immediate connection or that spark of, wait, what? Okay, let's look at some real-world wins. What do viral TikToks teach us about these hooks?
Yeah, looking at what works is super insightful. Case study 1, the wait for it videos.
Yes, the tease.
So many creators use this. They explicitly tell you or show you something amazing is coming. Like the magician Sean does magic. He often starts his videos just showing the spectator's completely shocked face.
You see the reaction before the trick.
Exactly. You see that pure amazement, and you just have to know what caused it. That builds anticipation instantly. And his videos get millions of views, often.
That anticipation is powerful. Okay, what's another pattern?
The power of just weird visuals. Visual oddities. Think about a dude with a sign. His whole thing is just him standing somewhere public, holding a cardboard sign with some funny, often relatable complaint on it.
So simple.
Right.
Yeah.
But the opening shot is always just that stark, slightly strange visual. A guy, a sign, nowhere specific. It's visually disruptive on the feed. It makes you stop. It's super shareable, too.
Lo-fi, but effective. It cuts through the noise. What about, like, the editing pace?
Oh, huge. Quick cuts, fast pacing. That's another proven tactic, especially early on.
Keeping things moving.
Yeah, think of creators like edits Joshua Siwa. Her dance challenges are just pure energy. Lightning fast edits, jump cuts, she bursts onto screen. It matches the platform's vibe.
Right.
And TikTok's own analytics suggest that kind of fast-paced editing right at the start can boost retention in the first, say, 10 seconds by up to 40%.
40% just from editing speed. Wow.
Yeah, it injects energy, keeps the eye moving, stops the boredom setting in during those crucial first moments.
Okay, so let's try and boil this down. If someone wants to craft their own hook, what's a step-by-step way to think about it?
Okay, let's try a formula. Step 1, identify your absolute best bit, your scroll stopper.
The hookiest part.
Yeah. What's the most unusual or striking or funny or relatable moment in the whole video? Find that and put it right at the very, very beginning.
Front load the good stuff. Got it. Step 2.
Step 2, layer it. Amplify that visual with sound or text, or both.
Reinforce the hook.
Right. Add a catchy sound, trending music that fits, or some bold on-screen text that clarifies the situation or asks that burning question, like overlaying, "Watch this fail," or "Would you try this?"
Make it unmissable. Okay, step 3.
Test. Test multiple openings. This is so important. Don't just assume your first idea is the best.
Right.
Film maybe 2 or 3 different intros for the same video. Different angles, different text, different sounds. Then use TikTok's analytics. Look at that audience retention graph. See which opening actually kept people watching longer.
Use the data. Smart. Don't just guess. And the final step.
Keep it short. Under 3 seconds. That window we keep talking about.
The magic number.
Every element, visual, audio, text, has to hit hard, instantly. No wasted frames in those first 3 seconds. Make them count.
Okay, this is super practical. So for everyone listening, how do they actually put this into action? What's the plan?
Okay, action plan. First, storyboard your intro. Seriously. Before you film, just quickly plan out what people will see and hear in those first few seconds.
Visualize it first.
Exactly. Even just a quick sketch or note. Second, film multiple hook variations. We just talked about testing. You can't test if you don't film alternatives.
Right.
Record at least 2, maybe 3 different starts. Try different things. Be bold. Maybe one is funny, one is mysterious, one is high energy. See what feels right and what might work.
Don't be afraid to experiment. Good advice. Action 3.
Get friendly with your analytics. After you post, really look at that retention graph. Where's the drop-off? If it's right near the start,
Your hook needs work.
bingo! Don't be precious about it. Tweak the opening based on that data. Maybe even repost it with a stronger start. Learn from what didn't work.
Data-driven iteration. Okay, what else?
Action 4. Ride trends, but add your twist right from the beginning. Trends are great for visibility, sure.
Yeah, they help discovery.
But you'll stand out more if you don't just copy it exactly. Start the trend video with your unique take, or a question about the trend, or a surprising visual twist on it. Make it yours immediately.
Leverage the familiar, but inject novelty.
Nice. And the last action step.
Just keep iterating. Optimize constantly. TikTok moves fast. What worked last month might not work next month.
True.
So keep testing hooks, keep analyzing, keep refining. The more you experiment, the more you learn about your audience, the closer you get to finding your own kind of secret sauce for hooks that consistently work.
This has been incredibly enlightening. Seriously, digging into just 3 seconds feels almost disproportionate, but it's clearly vital. It really is. In this attention economy, those first moments are everything. We've covered a lot: the psychology, the visuals, the sound, the storytelling, the data.
And it all boils down to that core idea. Spark curiosity or emotion or surprise instantly.
Right. It's not really about gimmicks. It's about understanding what genuinely makes someone pause and engage in that specific fast-paced context.
And if you can do that, if you implement these strategies, test them, refine them.
You've got a much better shot at cutting through, getting noticed by the algorithm, and maybe, just maybe, hitting that viral reach everyone's chasing.
So a final thought for everyone listening. Next time you're scrolling and something makes you stop, really think about why. What was it in that very first second or two? And then ask yourself, how can I apply that same principle to my own stuff? Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.